Hey guys, it's John Phillips for the final block of the day, and I'm joined by yet another special guest as Jacob Garcia and Jadon Crumpton join me to talk about UFC. I mean, guys, we got a pretty exciting card coming up, and I want to hear what fights are getting you the most excited. I want to hear number one fights.
For me, I mean, my number one fight, of course, is going to be Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. And it has nothing to do with Carlos Ulberg and everything to do with if Jiri Prochazka is in the cage, it's a must-see fight no matter who he's against. It doesn't matter. And that's not disrespect to Carlos Ulberg, who is a great fighter. It's just Jiri Prochazka might be the most entertaining fighter in the whole company. And then I want to talk about an underrated fight that's on the prelims. Mateusz Gamrot and Esteban Ribovics. Those guys are both super entertaining fighters, and Mateusz Gamrot is a top 10 lightweight. And like I said, it also shows the depth of this card that's a fight on the prelims. I'm so excited for that one too. That's my underrated banger.
It's going to be stacked. I mean, Jacob, what fights are exciting you the most?
Obviously, like he said, Jiri Prochazka, Carlos Ulberg. Ulberg on a nine-fight win streak. He's obviously very technical, very composed. And Jiri Prochazka, he just comes out like a car crash every fight, makes it super entertaining, super unorthodox. And I think if he can do that in this fight, he's going to emerge victorious and the new champion. The other fight that I want to mention is Curtis Blaydes and Josh Hokett. I am super excited for that fight. Curtis Blaydes, obviously, you know, with the experience edge, he's a veteran. Some may say the gatekeeper of the division. However, Josh Hokett, man, and what I've seen from him, he comes out super explosive, just super fast, almost like an NFL player. That's kind of he reminds me of. And so I'm super interested to see how that plays out. Kind of the up-and-comer against Curtis Blaydes. I'm really excited for that fight.
Yeah, and obviously Josh Hokett is, upcoming a lot. He's in the media a lot, in the news a lot with his personality that he's put on, his persona, kind of Colby Covington-esque. I mean, what do you guys think about this persona that he's put on this weeks coming up to this fight?
I'm glad you asked me this. I was wondering if I would get asked this because I have some thoughts. Josh Hokett, you're not Colby Covington. You are an unranked heavyweight. You literally can win like 4 fights. You can win like 2 fights depending on who you fight and be ranked at heavyweight. There's like 30 guys in the whole division. You're an unranked heavyweight. You don't get to act like Colby Covington, who was a title challenger. I think Curtis Blaydes wins this fight. And this isn't the news. I get to be biased. I hope Curtis Blaydes wins this fight.
I, too, think Curtis Blaydes wins this fight, but I'm not as confident. I think this one, to me, it's not a coin flip, but it's going to be a very competitive fight and one that I am very excited to watch. However, I think Curtis Blaydes, the experience factor, will push him to victory. He'll get it done.
What do you guys think about the size factor? Because, I mean, Curtis Blaydes is a huge man, especially compared to Hokett. Do you think that that's going to play a part in this fight at all?
And that's kind of why I think that he is going to win. Because, I mean, Curtis Blaydes is a wrestler. Josh Hokett is an NCAA All-American wrestler as well out of Boise State. But Curtis Blaydes is just a heavier fighter. On fight night, he's going to have at least 25, 30 pounds on Josh Hokett. And while he might be a little slower, if he can take the fight to the ground, he's going to gas him out with his pressure, his, obviously his weight. And so that's why I think he's going to emerge victorious in this fight.
That's fair. And I think let's talk about your guys' most excited fight. I mean, both of you said it was your most anticipated. Why not talk about it? Jiri versus Carlos Ulberg. Let's get a little bit more into the matchup. What do you guys think about this fight?
For Jiri versus Ulberg, I think what it comes down to is nobody's going to survive Jiri Prochazka for 5 rounds. The only person he's lost to in the UFC is Alex Pereira.
Yep.
I mean, he's one of the best. He probably is. I want to see him fight Magomed Ankalaev, and then I'll say he's a top 2 light heavyweight, but he is easily a top 3 light heavyweight in the division. Well, now with Alex Pereira gone, top 2. And I think what it comes down to is even if Carlos Ulberg can dance around for 3 rounds or whatever and kind of pick at him like we saw Khalil Rountree do in Jiri's last fight, I think eventually once Jiri just decides to walk forward and come at you, there's nothing you can really do. I mean, he's taken out everyone that way.
Jacob, I do want to know, what do you think the path to victory for Ulberg is? How is he going to beat Jiri if he does get that win?
Well, kind of like I said, he has to stay composed and keep it a technical fight, which against Jiri, like you said, is really hard to do, especially in a 5-round fight. It's like I said, he just comes out like a car crash. Jiri has been in danger, though. We've seen him be in danger in fights in the past. He gets hit, quite a bit with that sporadic style, but he has the one-shot power that can end this fight, and so that's why I think Jiri Prochazka will get it done by knockout. But I just don't think Carlos Ulberg, like you said, can hang in there with Jiri Prochazka, especially in a 5-round fight.
Yeah, it'll be very rough for Ulberg to last that much. But let's talk about another light heavyweight fight. Let's talk about Paulo Costa's fight coming up against this fight. I mean, Paulo Costa, the veteran, he has a lot more experience. Do you guys think that he's going to be able to get the win in this fight?
Paulo Costa is not a natural light heavyweight. He's moving up, which is kind of a weird thing for you that he's moving up and fighting a guy who's one of the most dangerous in the division, and Mirzakhanov, who just absolutely colded Alexander Rakic in his last fight. I think this one is probably one of the easiest ones on the card for me to pick.
I have to agree on that one.
I just think Azamat's too good. Paulo Costa really doesn't have any good wins in any recent years, and he's moving up a weight class. It just seems like too obvious that Azamat's just going to get this one done.
And to go off of what you said, Paulo Costa, obviously this is only his second fight in light heavyweight. His first one he lost back in 2021 because he missed weight. But Murzakanov, his power is just crazy. And Paulo Costa, kind of like I can say with Jiri Prochazka, he gets hit a lot, but his chin isn't that good. I feel like he doesn't really take fights completely serious at times, and you'll kind of see he kind of messes around, kind of tries to get the highlight reel finish. But I think Murzakanov it's not going to be pretty. I don't think it's going to end very pretty. But I'm excited for that fight as well.
That's fair, and I think next up we got to talk about a fight between two veterans. We've been talking about a lot of veteran versus up-and-comer, but let's talk about Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. I mean, these are two guys who are long-term UFC fighters, but who do you guys think has the edge in this one?
I've heard this one referred to a lot as chin or be chin.
Yes, exactly.
These are two guys who've been around for a while and have been knocked out a lot. I mean, for this whole card, there's going to be a lot of knockouts. There's a lot of fights like this where like, oh man, someone's going cold. And this is one of them. And I'm going to pick Dominic Reyes because he has the experience and I think he has a better resume than Johnny Walker. But like I said, when it's just two dudes swinging and as soon as one of their chins get touched, the other one's going to win, it's hard to pick a definitive, confident fighter.
Yeah, this is definitely the battle of the glass chins, if you will. But Dominic Reyes, before his last fight where Carlos Ulberg did knock him out, he was starting to kind of return to form. He was on a 3-fight streak, kind of the Dominic Reyes that we saw fight John Jones and arguably win, like I say. But obviously Carlos Ulberg caught him with a beautiful slip 1-2 to knock him out. But I think Dominic Reyes is going to get it done. Johnny Walker, I feel like when he gets knocked out, they're the goofiest looking knockouts I've ever seen. But I expect Dominic Reyes' power to show in this one, knock out Johnny Walker. And like you said, a lot of knockouts because a lot of these fights are light heavyweight and heavyweight fights. So it's gonna be a great card.
Slobber knocker is a term for a reason. You want to see those big guys just rocking each other. But I want to know 2.5 knockouts on the main card, over under. What do you guys think? Are we going to see that many knockouts, or do you think it might disappoint a little bit when it comes to that?
I think over. I'm going to take over.
I think over as well. I think the main event's going to end in a knockout. I think Murzacanov's going to end in a knockout, and then Dominic Reyes is probably going to. That one's going to be fireworks as well.
Someone will get knocked out.
At least 3. I expect at least 3 from this main card.
That's a super exciting card, and we haven't even talked about the prelims. I mean, there's names like Aaron Pico, Kevin Holland. I mean, these are names that are big names for UFC. So I mean, I got to know, what do you guys think about the prelims for this card? You already talked about the Gamrot fight a little bit, but
yeah, this is a super deep card. I mean, there's a ton of fights we could talk about. I could go down this whole card if we had, a 30-minute block. But like I said, Mateusz Gamrot and Esteban Ribovics is one that really excites me because Ribovics is a great prospect and Mateusz Gamrot is like the lightweight top 10 gatekeeper. Every fight he has is so entertaining, especially for a guy who's primarily like a wrestler grappler type. And I can't wait to see Ribovics challenged like that.
One fight I want to talk about from the prelims is the Aaron Pico, like you said. Obviously, this is going to be a second UFC fight. His first one, he got knocked out by Leron Murphy, but he's very fast. His hands are very powerful, very quick, and that's what I'm excited. He's going against Patricio Pitbull. That's going to be a great fight, and I think he's going to show why he belongs, why the UFC was so sought after, rather. And I think he's going to get that one done too.
Do you think that Aaron Pico is someone that is a real prospect for UFC, or do you think that this is just kind of a warm-up fight for him that he's going to be able to win, but he won't be able to get far in the division?
I think he is a true prospect. Like I said, based off what I saw from that last fight against Leron Murphy, his hands, how quick they are. He was moving like that, you know what I mean? And so I think that's a fight. He is a prospect, a true prospect in the UFC. I'm super excited to see where he goes from here. On the prelims, like you said, from top to bottom, this card is stacked. So I am so excited for this.
And there is still one main card fight that we have to talk about. Cub Swanson is fighting on the main card. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, what do you guys think about this Cub Swanson fight coming up?
Cub Swanson's a legend. I'm glad he's going to get his spotlight on a pay-per-view to go out and retire. He's one of those guys that's just been around forever. I mean, he challenged Jose Aldo for the title back in the day. He has a win over Dustin Poirier back when Poirier was at featherweight. He's a legend. I mean, I don't really think it matters which way this fight goes, as long as Cub Swanson doesn't get like colded, which would suck.
That would be
I think he's going to get his flowers, and that's the biggest story with that fight, is seeing a legend go out like that.
I do. I hope he rides off into the sunset with a storybook ending. Nate Landwehr, he's very chaotic as well. But Cub Swanson is a legend. I hope he doesn't get chinned. Like you said, I hope it's just not awful. But other than that, I'm going to be happy to watch this fight.
Yeah, it's the card of chins, so who knows? I mean, I am very scared for Cub Swanson. We'll have to see. But this is a really exciting card. I'm really excited to see. We'll be talking about this on Tuesday SportsZone, so make sure you tune in. I'll be back on there, and Steven will be back next week, guys. Do not worry, Steven will be back. That is all we have for SportsZone this week, so join me next week on Tuesday and Thursday. Have a great day.